Running your own online store can be extremely overwhelming, regardless if you're brand new or if you're somebody that is a pro seller. There's a lot of different things that you have to juggle when being an online seller. And especially with Shopify and print on demand and all the other things that are just gonna fall into hosting these websites. And so in today's video, I'm gonna talk to you about how we can get more sales, how we can optimize our online store and really grab more traffic without having to chase sales. We're gonna set it up a little bit more automatically, and it's a great way to bring more sales into your shop without having to run a ton of money with paid ads. And I've been selling online for a really long time, and I know this firsthand that it can be really overwhelming trying to juggle all of the things of running an online business, especially a standalone website, and you don't really know where to start. It's like, do I focus on keywords, my SEO, different trends that are trending on other sites or what other websites are doing? Should I hop onto this, run an ad? There's a lot of things that are just up in the air, and when you just don't have a system in place, it can be, like I said before, really overwhelming. But something that is extremely often overlooked is that time that should be spent building a relationship with a buyer or a potential buyer to really grab their attention and be able to communicate with them forward, even if they don't make a purchase on their first trip to your store. And the way to build a relationship doesn't actually have to be as complicated as you would think. I'm sure a lot of the times you've gone to an online store and you've started to build a relationship with that store without even realizing it. And if you're wondering how that is, it has to do with email and SMS marketing to retarget your buyers. And I know that when I say email and SMS marketing, a lot of people tend to jump away and feel like, whoa, I don't know how to do that. I don't have time for that. And I'm gonna show you my method on how I do this and a lot of helpful tips and tools that I use that can make this more manageable so that you really don't have to spend a ton of time on it. And if you're new, hi, I'm Mac. I post videos talking about e-commerce, passive income, and different ways to make money online. I'd love for you to be a part of our community on YouTube, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on future videos. So first things first, how do we get someone to sign up to our email list? And honestly, I would say that this is one of the easiest parts of all of this, because when's the last time that you went to an online store and immediately when you open the page, you might do one scroll and then a pop-up comes up that says, hey, do you want a discount? Go ahead and give us your email or your phone number and we'll send you over a special link or a discount code for your first purchase. Now, this is very effective. I know myself that I sign up for these all the time to get a discount, especially if I've never ordered from the brand before. Everybody loves a discount, right? Especially if you're gonna give somebody a discount plus free shipping, they love that. And honestly, it's probably the easiest thing to do is to get them to sign up as long as you're offering them a good incentive. And with Shopify, having a Shopify website, this is really easy to implement, such a pop-up block or something that is just going to let people know to sign up to your email list. But again, we want to make sure that we are giving them a good enough offer or a reason for them to enter their email. And that is simply giving them a discount. So there's a few different ways that you can do this, but personally, I like to use what's called Omnisend. And I really like using Omnisend because it syncs directly with my Shopify store. I also use this for Etsy as well. And what's great about this is that they do actually have a free plan. So you can sign up and get your first 250 contacts for free. So it's really great for people who are starting out in email marketing. And you also get up to 500 emails that you can send as well. So really, really great, again, for starters. And all you have to do to set this up is to create the account. I will have that special link there below for you. And then once you're logged in, you can go to your Shopify app store and search for Omnisend, and then you can just connect it. It takes just a few clicks, and then Omnisend is going to be accessible in your Shopify storefront. And I encourage you when you sign up to do your branding and make sure that you add in the logo that you have and your brand colors, because that goes a long way when we're gonna be automating these different pop-ups and stuff. It's gonna save you time and it just already has your brand assets available to you. So the most important thing in this process, once we're all synced, is going to be how do we get that person's email? And as we talked about, we wanna offer an incentive or a reason for them to sign up, but also something that benefits them in the moment. I find that this helps a lot. Now, Omnisend does handle this all for us, but we are gonna set up an automation together. So I'm gonna walk you through the process on how I create these pop-ups to grab the person's email, and then how we're going to retarget them right after by, sending them a welcome email or a text with the offer that we just told them we were gonna give them. So here's my dashboard on Omnisend. We have a lot of different options here, but like I said, the first thing I'm gonna show you how to do is actually set up so that people can subscribe to your email list so that we can target them. So I'm gonna go here where it says forms, and I'm going to go ahead and go to create form. And this is gonna give us a bunch of different pop-ups to basically have somebody join our email or to collect a subscriber. So you can filter them out over here, but our goal essentially is to collect subscribers. So here's all the ones that Omnisend has as offers and templates. As you can see, they're all really beautiful, and we can brand it to our liking. I personally really love these wheels. These are something that I've used before, but I do find that also just as effective are just the ones that say, hey, do you want a percentage off of your purchase? And I find that those are really helpful as well. I think I'm gonna choose this template here. Okay, perfect. Now I prefer to offer a bit more of a discount for a newer person because that definitely is gonna help them to opt in. So I'm actually going to, instead of do 10%, I'm gonna do 20% off of their first order. You can initially do free shipping or 10%, 5%, whatever you want. But I would encourage you to think about yourself in this scenario of like, what would I want to be able to purchase? Because we all know that when we open up a website and we see that this is an offer, a lot of us do enter our email, and so it's just something to keep in mind. Over here you can change and kind of customize it, so if you have a font that you like to use depending on your branding. I do like April Fat Face, but I also, where is it? Love Laura. I think Laura is a beautiful font that works in my branding a lot, but it really just depends on you. And then to change the color, I'm just gonna select the part that I wanna change. So I'm just gonna grab this, go here, and I have my colors saved in here because I wanted to keep that overall brand feel when I uploaded that. So I'm just gonna select my colors, or if I wanna add in a new color, just depending on what I'm going for, but I do think the black looks good. And then same here, if you just click on each of the things, you can change the colors pretty easily. And then I want to replace this image, and look, there's like a bunch of different things that we can change it to, all super cute. What I'm gonna do is remove this image, and then we're gonna upload an image from our website. So I like to use my own mockups for this, and I definitely recommend doing that as well. And then I'm going to do it side by side, and we're going to just change this a little bit. So as you can see, I just customized that myself. I have the picture of the actual product here, and then I'm asking if they want the 20% off their first order. And you can see I already customized this perfectly to my branding, so it's really not that difficult to do. And then what I'm going to do is go and just make sure it's all ready to go. And then I can hit enable form. And basically what's that gonna do, it's gonna schedule this form so that when somebody comes to my website, they're going to see it pop up. Because my store is connected, you can see here, it's live already. So this pops up immediately and is ready for the customer to access it. So this is what's gonna happen within the first like 5 seconds of the person being on my shop. Yes, I wanna get my discount, and then I'm just gonna put my email in, and then it's going to subscribe and sign me up. So very cool. And then once you've done that, you can actually start your automations for when you do begin to collect those emails. So after we set that up, then we can just go over to automation, and we can do create our workflow. And then this is where we're going to send them that first email because they subscribe to our email list, okay? So a great way to do this is either set up an abandoned cart email or the welcome email. I honestly think that the welcome email is nice because it makes people like excited, But when someone does sign up, I do like to send them a welcome email with another reminder that they're gonna get their percentage off by signing up. So I'm going to go to customize workflow. This is what the inside of the flow will look like. It's basically just breaking down each step, right? So this is the first step, and then what's gonna be the waiting time, and then the second step, yada, 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 right? So in order to set this up, we already have it pretty going well. We're just going to decide the little few things about it. Anything you click, you can edit over here. I just have this for when they sign up to, subscribe to the email list, wait for 1 minute before sending them their welcome email. Then I have this branded to my store, which I set up in the beginning. So I have my colors, the discount, and it's just like reminding them to use their discount, right? And then if you want to, this flow actually continues the next day if they're not purchasing. So if you want to, you can say wait 1 day before retargeting them and then offering them a different discount. So I'd have to go in and edit this to offer the different discount for them, which is pretty easy to do. But as you can see, you're in charge of this flow here. So I think this looks good after waiting for the 1 day, and then we offer them again, and then 4 days later we offer them again. So it's all within like a week of us re-offering them. And because we offered them 20%, it'd be great to just continue that offer. So in order to change this, I'm just gonna click on one of these, go over to edit content. So once we're in here, we can kind of change up the verbiage. You can move our logo, can change the text color to our branded colors if we want, and all here. So pretty self-explanatory, but I just figured I'd show you how to do it quick. So that way these flows are automated really well. Again, we want them to know that they are getting their 20% off. And if you're wondering about these X's, they generate the code automatically for your actual customer. So don't worry about that. And then basically they keep sending it and so on and so on. So that's how you would overall go about creating a flow. And it is pretty cool. You can also split things, run different notifications, delay it a little bit longer. Let's say we don't want to target them after another day, we would just delete that part of the flow, and then basically we just set up an email flow for when people join our website. I also think it's beneficial to set up an abandoned cart workflow. If somebody adds something to your cart, it's like an email to remind them. I think that's a great option. Also have push notifications that we can send them, and even offer to collect reviews. So there's a lot of different options in here, which I really, really like. I really encourage you to just see all the different automations as well. I did show you some pretty basic ones, but they're just as effective. But I do think these spin to wins are really fun. And if you want to, just definitely see what other things are offered on here to fit your branding and just play around with it. And let's say you do want to just set up an email that you want to send out and schedule for maybe a sale you want to run or a holiday. Just have to create your subject line. So maybe we want to do an Easter sale, 40% off max POD shop. Then we would just continue on, and then we can choose our templates. They have a lot of different templates depending on what it is that you're selling. They are definitely e-commerce focused, which I find really helpful because you can find something that, you know, really works for you and your brand. These are super cute for these dog websites, a bunch of different ones. And then once you click on the template, you just add in your own photos and text, and it works just like a template that you would use on like a art site like Canva, right? So if you just click on one of these, I mean, this one's for Mother's Day, but you know, you can either use the pictures that they have, or you can just remove and replace with an image that you have. Obviously this isn't fitting out for Mother's Day, but Mother's Day sale or whatever the sale you'd want it to be, it doesn't have to be. It could say, you know, our 40% off spring sale, right? Because like the oyster stuff's trending right now. However you want to do it, and then you just add in your store name and all the stuff that fits your website. You can just completely transform these, which I really like. Shop with 40% off, and it just takes a few minutes to really set these up. And then you can link things specifically as well if you do want to link your product listing directly from your store, right? So see how it's already synced with my store. So all I'd have to do is click whatever product I want to offer. So we want to offer this beach cowgirl one. Look at that. It literally brings in the photo directly from the website, which is great. Okay, something like this. I'm going to ask this to make description shorter. Perfect. Using the AI to help us out. And yeah, so overall looks really pretty, right? So shop our spring sale. We can change this, AI assistant, talk about our 40% off sale on our cute coquette items. Say, make it shorter. Perfect. Okay. And we can change this up here. And then in just a few minutes, we can check out our email that we made, which I love. You can check it with what it's going to look like on the phone. So we could change it out and make this a lot smaller if we want to, what it's going to look like on the computer. And it's just overall fairly fun to do, and looks a lot more beautiful in my opinion than like just sending like a white email that says nothing. All these colors are really beautiful. You can obviously do it to your branding too, and use all these fun different templates. And send a test email to yourself as well. And then once you're done, you can just go ahead and save and choose who you want to send it to. So I can send it to these email subscribers that have actually subscribed via my thing. And then we would go through and set it up, but I'm not going to send these people an email right now because I'm just showing you for reference. But overall, very, very cool. And then all your campaigns will be saved in here, and definitely something to check out. So now that we've set up an email campaign and you see how this works, SMS, which is basically text messaging, is also a great option to get people excited and to text them. I'm sure that you have brands that text you if you sign up for these before, and it's just a great way to be like, hey, don't forget about our brand. Here's a special offer. Restock, here's a special product. And I think that SMS marketing can go a really long way. And again, is something that's really overlooked when it comes to marketing. I think sometimes people are worried they're gonna be annoying, or they're worried that someone's gonna unsubscribe. At the end of the day, as long as you're not overdoing it, you should not have those worries at all. People sign up because they like your product, they wanted to make a purchase, they're interested. So you have to really stand by that confidence and not be so worried about it. I always make sure that I send it as a text to myself too, to see how it looks, because after I've set these up, I just wanna make sure that it looks pretty, it looks good, and Omnisend lets you do that too for a preview, thank goodness. Now, once we have set up these automations, the next part is going to be to wait and then reevaluate our data, because when it comes to data, we want to make sure that the campaigns that we're setting up are going to be working for our store. Are we getting the sales with people signing up? It's really important to track data. Data never lies, and it can take some time to get the full result, and you may have to test a lot of things. But once you know what works for your brand, it's so much easier to really use and optimize tools like this. And as I was saying in the beginning of when we're getting someone to sign up, we're offering them that nice juicy discount or, free product or shipping, whatever it is that we're offering them. Then now we have an advantage as the seller, because we can keep retargeting them. We can keep letting them know, hey, we're here. Hey, retarget. Not overdoing it, but having a retargeting strategy, able to offer, discounts and then new product drops, and create these really beautiful emails with photos, can add in different things that are on our website, all with our own unique branding. And I think that once we do have that down, this just becomes something that is fully automated and can just work for you without you having to have the stress of making a social post every day to your community on Instagram that maybe never even came to your store in the first place. So that email strategy, in my opinion, would be worth putting a little bit of time into rather than creating an entire social media strategy right off the bat. But now I do want to talk about actually getting people to your store, right? Because we can't exactly create an email campaign if we're not getting people to our store. And I know that just through my channel, a lot of people are concerned about getting people to their store, or they just are having a hard time with traffic in general. And while I want to make another video with SEO and different other tips that are just, free and ways to get traffic to your store, this is some really great tips, and also is free stuff that you can do. So I want to start out by talking about different SEO methods with social media. One of your best ways with social media to market for free, that you have the most SEO advantage, is going to be a platform called Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I love it because, I'm sorry if you've heard this before, I know I talk about it a lot, but with Pinterest, it is basically like a digital board, right? People go there for inspiration, for ideas, and to find things and get inspired and find fashion trends and find things. So especially if you are a print-on-demand seller or a person that's selling gifts, pretty much anything, you should be using Pinterest to your advantage, because as people scroll, if they like something, they just click on it and it goes directly to a link to their website. And so that is such a powerful tool, because imagine you set up your Omnisend automation on your Shopify store, and then you post a photo on Pinterest of a mock-up of one of your products. Someone clicks on that on Pinterest, they go directly to your Shopify store, and then boom, a little pop-up, hey, get 20, 30% off your first order. they're signing up for that and they're checking out what your products are because they clicked on it because they liked it. So it's almost like building out a strategy versus trying to just like randomly find someone or throwing money at an ad that like we might not even know who our target audience is if we've never sold anything before. So I really encourage you to check out Pinterest. I think Pinterest is great. I do have a tutorial below on how I create pins, and really all it boils down to is adding your SEO in your pins and really, putting the categories to what somebody would be looking for. So I will leave that video linked below because I don't want to talk too much about Pinterest marketing, but I just want you to know that it's a great way to get free traffic to your online store. And then those people are interested because they clicked on your product or your photo already. And then it's so much easier to get them to sign up to that email list and retarget them further. All in all, there's been times, right, where you've signed up, you've gone to a website, you like their product, and you just don't buy. You add it to your cart and then maybe you get distracted, you get a phone call, or you're just like, not today, I need to get paid, whatever it is, right? That you might abandon cart. But that's why it's so important to have them to retarget and set up these campaigns of abandoned cart. Like, hey, you forgot to check out, here's a discount. There's so much importance in that. And it's just so overlooked. So it's really about just like building that strategy out. And a lot of that can start with the traffic that we get to that online store. Let me know if you have any questions about any types of things when it comes to email marketing or SMS marketing. I'd also love to hear your experiences with it. If you want more details, if you want me to talk about it more with Etsy, please let me know. I appreciate this channel so much. I feel like we're a community here, so definitely hope that this one was helpful to you. And if you want more Shopify strategies as well, I do have a link for Omnisend in the description of the video. And if you use this code, you can also upgrade your account and you can get 30% off of your first 3 months, which is a really great deal. If you want to check it out, it's a really great tool. I use it myself and I recommend it. I think that it's a great way to get the repeat buyers and even a first-time buyer as well. So thank you so much for watching. I'd hope to see you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any further uploads.